Hello, friends. Asher, welcome back to Gents. I've given in to the dark side. It's time to talk about clones. Get out of here. Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope you're well. We are talking fresh fragrances turned into clone form. Why pay more for something that smells pretty much the same? That is the question on the docket today. And I've got for you guys 10 different alternatives to more expensive fresh fragrances that'll have you smelling just as good, but they're gonna save you some money, and you'll keep that money in your wallet. All of these are gonna be linked in the description below. Feel free to check them out down there. God, I said it again. The description's not down there anymore. In the description, on the sidebar, or wherever it is. I don't know. Maybe on mobile it is still down there, but on computer it's not. But you can find these linked in the description on the cheap. Let's jump straight into it with this one, Fragrance World Feroce. Fragrance World Feroce. Feroce. That's pretty fun to say. Feroce. 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 This is a clone of Light Blue Forever. They even almost got the coloration down there. Pretty close, not quite spot on, but it's pretty close. Now, Light Blue Forever is something that I absolutely love. I think this is an amazing release, though it is a little bit divisive because of the grapefruit off the top. It's got kind of a natural aspect to it, and by that I mean it comes across a little bit tart, a little bit rindy. I mean, there's still some sweetness there, but it's kind of like a Sour Patch Kid. First it's sour, then it's sweet. So why even have a clone of that? Because I mean, it's just a Dolce & Gabbana light blue, right? And yes, that's true, it is just a light blue, but it has been getting much more difficult to find because of the D word. No, not that D word. Discontinued. What's wrong with you? So what's happened is we have watched Light Blue Forever slowly creep up in price. At one point that was, $35 at discounters. An amazing deal in my opinion, but yeah, it's gotten more expensive. And now you've got people on eBay saying, hey, I got a little Light Blue Forever for you if you want to kick me $100. So yeah, now if you want this comes into play. It's very similar to Light Blue Forever, though I would say that rindiness has been dialed down a little bit in the fragrance world, but it still does an amazing job of capturing that citrus opening that smells so good. So some people are actually gonna prefer this because of that. I mean, it still has a little bit of that rindiness, just not quite as much. On the whole, a great alternative to Light Blue Forever, something that I can firmly get behind. Just like your mom. I'm sorry, I had to. I'm sorry. Oh, I apologize. Feroce, Light Blue Forever. Before we hop to the next fragrance, guys, you know the drill. Here are some codes that you can use if you shop at any of these websites for fragrances for yourself. So save yourself a little money. We got Max Aroma, we got Fragflex, Twisted Lily, Triple Traders, the Perfume Box, and others. The next fragrance is in the most nondescript bottle of any of the ones that we're going to talk about here today. Actually, across the entire brand, they all look pretty much the same, other than the script that is on the front of the bottle. It's from Montaigne. It's Torino 2021. So like I said, pretty much all the fragrances from Montaigne, at least the ones that I've gotten, look like this. Same bottle style, same sticker, other than just the notes on the front are obviously gonna be different and the name of the fragrance. But yeah, these are all very nondescript. So Torino 2021 is a clone of, wait for it, Torino 21. There are times with fragrance houses where they make an inspired by fragrance and they do a little twist on the name, make it a little bit different. And then there are times like this where they're like, nah, just literally the exact same. Wait, 2021, now it's different. Now, as of this video, this is sold out on their website, unfortunately. So I'm not sure when that's gonna come back in stock, but I really, really like this one. And to be fair, I really, really like Torino 21. Lots of mint off the top. You also have some basil in there, some citrus. Just one of those openings that's very refreshing, very bright, very energizing. And the quality here is actually really nice, especially when you consider the price difference, the gulf between this and the Zerja. And I don't know if this is just me, but in my own mind, I had lumped like Dossier, Alt Fragrances, and Montaigne together because they kind of all like popped into my sight about the same time, like I became aware of them close to the same time. And they have a similar idea behind them. You know, they're all taking different popular fragrances, making their iterations, their versions of them. All of them have a very similar style in the sense that they have a pretty simple like presentation where they just put a sticker on the front there and boom, you're done. But there is a marked difference between those three for me in terms of the quality overall of the fragrances that I've smelled from them. So I put Dossier last. I've tried, I think 6 from them now. Like I bought 3 and then bought 3, if memory serves correctly. And 4 out of the 6 were not really all that good. And then Alt Fragrances is above them, and then Montaigne is at the top as far as those 3 go. Again, I've not smelled everything from all 3 of those. I've smelled, I think 6 also from Alt. I bought like some mystery packs. And then Montaigne, I got, I think I have 12 from them actually. Most of those have been really good. So there we go. That one, Torino 2021. We move on to Vibrant Orange and Naroli. This is from Emir, which is part of Paris Corner. And you can tell just by looking at this that this is a Byredo clone. I mean, the cap and bottle style kind of gives that away. Wish it was a magnetic cap, but you know, what are you gonna do? And this is a clone of Sundazed. So that is the vibe you're gonna get from this one. It's sugary sweet with the citrus there, and there's also a cotton candy note in the base. So yeah, pretty sweet right from the rip all the way into the dry down. But it's also extremely pleasant. It's easy to wear. Ladies could pull this off as easily as men. Good vacation fragrance, beach fragrance. I mean, it's pretty much, you know, the Byredo, so yeah. And I've said this before, I will say it again, Paris Corner can be a little hit or miss. They have some clone fragrances that I've been really excited for. I've got them in, and then it's like, this is not the best, you know? And then there are other times that you'll get them in and it'll be like, wow, this is really, really great. So it's kind of a crapshoot. But this is a good one, and by and large, their Byredo alternatives are pretty good because I've got a number of them and they come in like a bunch of different bottle styles actually. Well, similar shape and everything, but different color schemes. Some of them use labels like this. Others have writing directly on the bottle, just depends. But most of them are good. Oh, big old hype beast right here. Nitro Red, man. Nitro Red, that's so cool, man. Nitro, that's like fast explosions, fire and stuff, man. Dude. That's good stuff, man. Spray that on. So many women came after me, man. I was beating them off with a stick, dude. So Nitro Red, this is from Dumont Paris. And this is sort of a mix, a hybrid of sorts between Paco Rabanne Invictus and Baccarat Rouge 540, though it does lean more toward the Invictus side of things than it does the BR 540 side of things, even though it does come in a red bottle. So it's more like Invictus with a twist and a sprinkling, a smattering of Baccarat Rouge 540. It is, though, extremely wearable, super versatile. It is a big compliment puller, and it's not that expensive. And it has done so well, apparently, that it has inspired other clone houses to clone the clone. So if that's going on, then you know that this stuff works and sells. I'm just saying. So Dumont Nitro Red, gotta scoop that stuff up if you're looking for a hype beast, versatile, fresh, and sweet scent. Now this next one is hideously ugly. It's like, you just gotta avert your eyes. I think it looks like the cheapest, grodiest, just funkiest bottle. I absolutely despise it. It's this one from Codlage, Shiaka Silver. Now I know some people are gonna be like, the bottle's not that bad, man. Yes, it is. This bottle is hideous. This is a stock bottle, and if you've been around TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Ross's, at any point over the past couple of years, you have probably at some point seen this exact bottle style. Not this fragrance, but this exact bottle style with different fragrances in the store for sale for like 10 bucks, 15 bucks. It essentially looks like a mega cheap Dunhill Icon that is far more plasticky, that you smushed into an oval design, and then you were like, nailed it. So yeah, the bottle's hideous. It looks cheap, it does not look good. Again, that is just my opinion, but I think if you had 4 or 5 of those lined up on your dresser for some reason, you know, different iterations of this bottle style, it would not scream out luxury. People would be like, oh, interesting. Ew, it even feels bad in the hand. Great, that's good, that's good. I'm glad you like it. So just looking at this, you would think it is awful. You would think truly awful. And yet, somehow, some way, this is essentially the best Amouage Reflection Man clone out there. I don't know. Paris Corner actually has an Amouage clone. I think it's called Killer Oud Revolution. And the bottle, you know, you can tell it's an Amouage style bottle. And then the box looks nicer. And if you put that side by side with this one, you'd be like, well, that's gotta be the better one. And it's not. This one's better. The second you spray this on, you can go in for a whiff and it smells nice. It has those florals, it has that richness. It's clean, you know, touch soapy, just like Reflection. Just really, really well done. Excellently done. This is one of those times with inexpensive clone fragrances where you just cannot judge a book by its cover, because this, to a lot of people, is not going to say much about the quality of what's inside there. It is darn good. Let's go next to our MAF Ventana Marine. Price on this one has dropped down to about 23 bucks at discounters. So it is hitting that like super cheapy level. When you're only a few dollars away from 20 bucks even, that is affordable, especially right now with the prices of everything going, So we'll take that. Now, presentation on this, I'm gonna whine a little bit. It's not my favorite. Ventana in general, you know, it feels a little cheap, plasticky, and it just doesn't feel great in the hand. But on the whole, for the price point, honestly, who cares? And that's sort of a fresh Bleu de Chanel type of fragrance. Leans more like Bleu de Chanel Eau de Toilette with more of maybe a marine facet to it, hence the name. But when you smell it, you can tell Bleu de Chanel is the inspiration behind it. That's what it smells most closely to. So it's gonna be a really solid one for spring, summer, daytime, good office fragrance, good casual fragrance. I mean, honestly, we're talking something that smells similar to Bleu de Chanel, and you would wear Bleu de Chanel about anywhere. So to dumb it down, you know, very simply, Bleu de Chanel with a little more of a summertime lean. That's what this is. And that price point, super competitive. So we did one Bleu de Chanel. Let's do another one that has maybe an inkling of Bleu de Chanel in it, but is not as closely related to the Chanel as this one is. It's 9 AM Dive from OffNot. And this one's a little more expensive. Not a whole heck of a lot more expensive, like $10 or so. I think you can pick that up about 33 as of this video, but still a little more pricey than the MAF. This is gonna be closer to like YSL with a dash of Bleu de Chanel. So to an extent, I think that this one, more than any of the ones we're gonna talk about, you could almost say it's kind of its own thing. Is it exactly a YSL clone? No. Is it exactly a Bleu de Chanel clone? No. Is it a fresh blue fragrance with nice sweetness that is kind of in the wheelhouse of a combination of those, and maybe even some other fragrances as well? Yeah, kind of like that. Quality, really nice. For 33 bucks, it is a steal. This is another one where the price has come down to a point where you can pretty easily recommend that to people, and they'll be like, oh yeah, it's a great bang for the buck. You know, when it first dropped, and some places were asking $80, you know, 85, something like that, not such a good deal at that price point. 60 bucks, still probably not really a great deal for a lot of people out there. Getting down closer to 30, now we're talking. And depending on where you look, it is still a little more expensive at some places. I've seen it, you know, $40 and up at some places, but Fragrance Spy has it for about, like I said, 33. And at that price point, it's great. The issue is with some clone fragrances, I'm sure you've noticed, I've noticed some of the bigger ones that are coming out. And by bigger ones, I mean from a larger line. Like this one, of course, had 9 p.m., which was really hyped. A lot of people love that. OffNot 9 p.m. So they come out with 9 a.m. dive. They got a new one coming out in the line, and people are like, "Ooh, I wonder what that is." And so some of these stores, not all, but some of these stores will be like, "Oh, we'll do a pre-order. You can buy it, and we'll ship it like the second we get it, but you're gonna pay way more than realistically you should be paying." And I've noticed that with some other stuff as well, like some new Latafas, like Kamra Kawhi, I think that one, some people were doing pre-orders and stuff like that, jacked up prices. So this is another lesson. If you see that, if you see a store doing a pre-order for one of these fragrances, not one of these, but like a future fragrance, and the price seems overpriced, that's because it is. Wait a little bit, get it for a better price. Everybody be happier except for the store, I guess. Let's go intense next. Intense peach. I like peaches. This is from Fragrance World, and it's pretty obvious what that is. That is a clone of Bitter Peach by Tom Ford. So very similar in smell to the Tom Ford, not the exact same though. Intense Peach does ramp up kind of a sweet peach off the top. I think it smells really, really good. I'm a fan though of peach notes in general. I know that, some people would say maybe that peach is not a super versatile note in fragrances. Because when you think of versatile fruit notes in scents, it's usually citruses, mandarin orange, bergamot, grapefruit, maybe apple, pineapple a little bit as well. But stone fruits, apricot, peach, they don't get used as often. And when they do, they kind of get like shoved right to the forefront of the fragrance, and it's like, hey, peaches. They don't play nice as well sometimes with other notes, is what it looks like, what it feels like when you look at how many fragrances are out with those notes and how many just put that note like right to the front. Regardless of that though, I still think it smells amazing, fantastic alternative to Bitter Peach. And a lot of people out there actually prefer this and also Bright Peach to Bitter Peach. So that's a nice one. That's pretty good. You know what else is pretty good? This right here. This one is called Caprice. I think it's technically Onashama Caprice, but most everybody just calls it Caprice. So this one is a clone of La Nuit de l'Homme Bleu Electrique, which at least in the US has been pretty much impossible to find. Basically ever since it came out. Yeah, it's so puzzling. Basically it released and it was like, oh great, this is great. It's La Nuit de l'Homme with a little fresh blue fragrance twist. Great. Basically took the DNA, kept that cardamom intact, modernized it, made it easier to wear as both a daytime and an evening fragrance, and gave it more usability throughout the year. And by and large, most people, not everyone of course, but most people that smelled it really liked it. So you just felt like, wow, Yves Saint Laurent did good here. They really, really did a flanker that stays true to the original, but the twist that they put on it appeals to even more people. They crushed it. Again, at least in the US. If you're somewhere else and you can easily find Bleu Electrique, more power to you. I'm glad, but here, crickets. And that opened up the opportunity, I guess, for a clone house to step in and make a clone. And there have been a few other ones that have come out, some better than others, but this one just really nails it. And so if you are in the US and you've been hankering for a little Bleu Electrique, something like this is gonna save you a lot of money. Unless at some point they bring it back, who knows? I never know what these brands are gonna do, but for now, there's your Bleu Electrique. And we will finish with another blue bottle, L'Aventure Seal from Al Haramain. This is Millésime Imperial. And there are a multitude of Millésime Imperial clones out there. Probably the most well-known is gonna be Milestone by our MAF Club de Nuit Milestone. This one takes that Millésime Imperial DNA, that kind of sea salty, watermelon, fresh vibe in the opening, that sparkling somewhat thick ambergris as it dries down. It takes that and it kind of ramps up the freshness, the sparkle off the top. That does make it lean a little more unisex than maybe the original Millesime Imperial does. I would say it still overall leans masculine, but it's leaning closer toward unisex than the OG does. But a really wonderful fragrance, very easy to wear during the day in spring or summer. And while this probably would have had a bigger impact had it been released years ago, like if they had put this out, you know, before Milestone, maybe it catches a little more attention. But regardless, still smells great, really nice fragrance. All right, guys, there we go. There are some fragrances. Gonna have you smelling fresh, gonna have you smelling clean, gonna have you smelling amazing. And they are pretty much like 10 to 20% the cost of the original. That is a large savings. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.